When I was growing up, I figured I would never become a parent. I knew people like me couldn't have kids of their own, and I was sure that if I did somehow manage it, the photos of my family would be tucked away in a drawer, not proudly displayed on the mantle. But none of that turned out to be true.
Hey Zachary, what's my name?
Who is that?
Is my name Daddy?
No,
No?
What's his name?
What's my name?
that's Daddy.
Yeah,
Oh, that's Daddy. What's my name?
Daddy, Papa.
Daddy Papa.
Daddy,
So who's Daddy?
Daddy,
Where's Daddy?
Daddy,
And who's that?
Papa. Papa, Daddy.
Who is it? You want to talk to us?
You hear me?
Boy, do.
When I moved to San Francisco, I joined the front lines of the ongoing gay revolution. At the time, I never would have imagined that my most revolutionary act would be the most traditional thing in the world.
Homophobia, Scots go. Hey, hey.
As I grew older, I met a few straight parents, as well as some lesbian moms. But for my gay friends and me, kids were still an alien concept. Until my friend Kelly announced that he was about to become a father. Kelly was single, gay, and adopting 2 boys at once. I thought he was crazy.
I think most gay men's attitude towards me as a parent reminds me a lot of when I went into Peace Corps. You know, it's a great thing. I've always thought of doing that. But I never would. I love kids. You know, I mean, if it came down to 2 platters where, you know, you're going to have the perfect boyfriend in the BMW convertible and great trips to Europe every summer, or you can have 2 kids and end up single, I'd pick the kids in a minute. So I did.
Kelly was matched with 2 brothers who were featured on a weekly news special.
Hi,
Hi there. Say, my name's Jesse,
and I'm Sassy.
and my brother's name is Ray. Say hi, Ray. Social workers say the goal is to keep these brothers together. They need to be adopted right now. Perhaps it's you.
Like, there's no doubt that this is right and these kids are right and this is what I should be doing. That's not even a question.
2 weeks after meeting his future kids, Kelly went to pick them up from their foster parents and bring them home.
I feel like that $1 million sweepstakes. Hi, how you doing? You're here. You look like a 60s Motown singer. Okay. This is the brother. How you doing? How you doing, huh?
You know, I have some.
Oh, do you have medical records and stuff?
You know what I didn't do?
We're getting there. We're getting there. I will.
That's why when your mother was at the table, I don't know. Yes, you know you love me.
Mama.
Is that your mama? It's close. It's a blue truck, and you have a blue van.
Mommy.
What?
Go back to my mommy's house. Go back to my
Why?
mommy's
Did you forget something?
No, I love Mommy.
What's wrong?
Mommy. Oh, Mommy.
You want to go back home? You want to go back to that house?
Mama. No.
You don't want to come to my house?
Yeah. And I love Mommy.
This friend of mine said, you know, you are America's nightmare. You know, this gay guy with 2 kids, living in the Castro, that is so much what so much of this country really doesn't want to see happen.
Spending time with Jesse and Ray, I wondered how I would look back on my life without children. And I started to feel the faint ticking of my non-biological clock. For my partner, William, it was different. His alarm had gone off.
think it's one of the most important things that someone can do in their life is to raise a child. The fact that I can now be a parent makes me so happy.
When William and I met, we would sometimes fantasize about having a family. But face to face with the reality of adopting a child, I started having second thoughts. I decided I needed a trial run.
Hey!
When Kelly went away one weekend, Jesse and Ray came to stay with us. I thought that once William experienced the reality of kids, he might change his mind.
Oh!
But having Jesse and Ray here had just the opposite effect.
I was up early every morning, I'm cooking breakfast. You know, I love having these little lives here and like all the things that they know and they don't know. I mean, for me, that is just pure joy.
Hands in the cart, please.
I mean, I'm scared of having a kid. There's a way in which I'm really happy with my life right now. I'm very satisfied with it, and I'm reluctant to let it go.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
What are we going to do? Are we going to be like 60, 70-year-old gay men and we're going to be going to that art opening again or that cocktail party? I mean, you know, what is life about?
How I wonder what you are.
As we pondered our next move, I began to wonder how other gay men handled all this. I heard about another gay couple that had followed a very different path to parenthood.
Annie dear, don't get up all night tonight. 'Cause Papa likes to sleep and Daddy likes to sleep. Then we think that
Very much from the very beginning, we always talked about having a family. We thought that we'd make good parents. We thought we'd enjoy raising a child. And somewhere along the line, the conversation came up with my old friend Kathy Smith.
We were in high school together. We were high school sweethearts. If you could think to yourself who would be the best parents, they were just two of the most generous people, the most funny. They were very happy with themselves, with each other.
She left a message on the machine and said, you know, I think it'd be the hardest thing I ever did in my life, but I'd like to, you know, help you guys become parents.
I didn't sort of think, well, I'm not doing anything this year. Why don't I just have a baby for a gay couple? It wasn't like that. I think really a lot more of it had to do with love.
All of a sudden there's Fanny and she came bursting out screaming. And then we flew home 5 weeks later. Everybody I talked to who had been a parent said, there's no way that I could even begin to help you imagine what it's like being a parent. And I think that proved to be true. I mean, all of my fantasies about it were nowhere near as hard as it actually was.
The closer I got to fatherhood, the more I ran across gay dads. I met divorced gay fathers, men who co-parented with lesbians, and others who had flown overseas to adopt. Almost always, becoming a gay dad required months, sometimes years, of perseverance. Then I heard about a man in Florida who became a father in an afternoon.
I've always been a very decisive person. I think intuition is nothing more than cumulative experience of knowing yourself. My intuition told me when I was presented with the situation of Oscar that this is going to work, this is going to be a good thing for both of you, so go for it. I had known Oscar in this clinic where I was a nurse practitioner. When Oscar was about 3.5, his dad said to me, "Would you like to take care of Oscar?" And I said, "Are you serious?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm serious." why don't you just take him home with you? You know, you could give him a much better life than I could. He says, listen, I lost my place to live, you know, and I don't want the kids to spend, you know, Christmas like that.
Well, I tell you, to be honest, my son has been on drugs off and on for years. And he says he's clean, but he's not.
And I said, well, there's something, you know, I have to tell you that I want you to be comfortable with. And then I told him that, you know, that I was gay. And he was okay with that. You know, I don't think he was crazy about the idea, but he knew that I would take good care of Oscar. And 2 weeks later, we were celebrating our, you know, our first Christmas together.
Hey, Oscar, how did it end up that you live with Doug? That Doug's your daddy?
Good.
How did that happen? Do you remember how that happened?
No.
How did that happen?
I was on the Christmas tree.
Yeah, you were under the Christmas tree?
You were just hiding under there.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened?
Then he heard a noise or something, and then he woke up, and then he saw me.
Oscar has some, you know, relatively serious chronic health problems that he's had since birth. When I got him, his growth was only at the 10th percentile. He was just a tiny little thing. A lot of systems in his body were not doing well. It's like a little ball like this.
Like this?
With regular medication, his health has just improved so dramatically.
I doubt our grandson Oscar would be living today if Doug didn't have him. I hate to say that. And I tell it to my son and anyone else.
The more I saw of other families, the more I realized there was no perfect time to have a kid. I was still scared, but I felt ready to take the next step. We paid a visit to Kelly's social worker, who called herself the Gay Adoption Queen.
I didn't start off being an advocate for gay adoptions. I was an adoption advocate. There are lots of kids out there who need homes. And they wait, and they wait, and they wait.
We knew we wanted to adopt a kid who was African American or biracial like William. It turned out we wanted exactly the kind of kid most people didn't. People pay thousands of dollars to adopt white or Asian children, but there are 50,000 African American kids waiting to be adopted right now. Meanwhile, some state laws are relaxing, making it easier for gay men to adopt. Often, the result is a controversial match: white gay men raising African American kids.
I see gay families adopting as an untapped resource. And I think a lot of gay people don't really realize that more and more counties, more and more private agencies are opening their doors wide open to people who want to explore this as a family option.
We decided to move ahead toward adoption through the surreal and sometimes frustrating process of getting certified as foster parents, complete with criminal background checks, psychological evaluations, and a class in CPR. Eventually, our social worker came over for the final interview and to make sure our home was a safe place for kids.
All medicines and poisons have to be under lock and key.
No, it's actually very sturdy. My dad built this deck, and he was really concerned about making sure that the slats were the right distance.
So how much do you drink?
Nada.
Anybody use non-prescription drugs?
No.
Marijuana, cocaine?
It was tedious.